My name is Pravin Pawar. I am from IT department. Today we are looking at natural language processing. First of all, NLP is one of the part we regularly use into the programming. So today we are looking at the introductory part of the NLP, that is natural language processing. Now, in the today's session, we are looking at the introduction part of the NLP, where we'll be starting with what is NLP, how does NLP work, two main phases of the NLP, which is having the data processing and the algorithm development. And finally, we'll be looking at the how much amount of the or what kind of a different applications we can use it into the NLP. So moving towards the first one. Now, NLP is a branch of artificial intelligence and the linguistic that focus on enabling computer to understand, interpret, process, and generate human language in a meaningful way. And in a simple way, we can call it as the NLP is a technology that allows the machines uh, to specifically understand where we say or write in natural human language. English, Hindi, Marathi, any kind of a languages that we are using. So in the simple format, the computers or any kind of a machines need to do the communication with the humans, but in an artificial format. That's why it is called it as natural language processing. So humans are specifically using multiple languages like Hindi, Marathi, English, Tamil, Telugu. But while doing the communication with the machines, we never go with those languages. We always uses the machine language. So now we need the communicator between the machine and the humans. That's why we are using NLP, natural language processing. Now, the natural language processing is a part of the AI, obviously artificial. So, this is also the made by the humans. That's why it is called it as the artificial intelligence. So, it is going to be generating the collecting the data from the humans, and he's generating its own uh, outputs from that. That's why it is called it as the AI. And this process will be called it as natural language processing. It is a power of computer virus to know the human language. It has a variety of real world application in some field, including the medical research, in search engines, business intelligence, etc. So it is again the same thing. We can use these applications into the medical research purpose, search engines, as well as the business intelligence that we require for that particular purpose. It takes real world input, processed it, and makes sense in a way computer can understand it. Like humans, computer have different sensors in front of programs to read and microphone of for audio, and just like a brain, the computer uses program for processing the inputs. At some point in processing, the input is covered to code that the PC can understand. So these are the basic parts by which the NLP works according to the artificial intelligence. Now we'll be looking at how does the NLP works. Now you can see the diagram. Let's like we have the human has been kept up there. Now the humans can use multiple options like senses or the visual input that we are collecting or the gesture. These are the different inputs we are collecting from the surroundings. And then after the situation, according to the situation, we are using the filters over that particular things. And the filters, we can use the attitude, memories, sorting those according to the previous memories or the input data that we are collecting, or as well as the benefits. So this is the way human specifically filters the input of that particular systems. And then after that, including some kind of emotions and the behavior, we are generating the output. So that's why it is called it as the input plus internal process. It is going to be generating the output of that particular process. So that is the NLP specifically techniques. Exchange your filters, again the same thing. Expand your maps and the exchange your possibilities for the successful thinking, feeling, and the behaving. So these are the different ways we can use that particular. Again the same thing. If I wanted to choose one of the fruit from the given uh, plot, or we can call it as a given market. So it again same thing. If I'm looking at the colors, what kind of a taste I have I've had previously into that particular fruits. So that is used for the filter purpose. Okay, then after using the filter, what kind of a season we are having, so that may be the emotions, plus as well as what kind of a behavior now I am having. If I don't if I'm happy, so obviously I can eat any kind of a fruits like the sweet fruits, or even if I'm sad, if I'm go for the sweet fruits, so that is nothing but the behavior. Then finally I can choose one of the fruit from that particular given fruits. So this is the working of the NLP. Now, the two main phases to natural language processing is the data processing. Into the data processing, we are having the sub parts of the data processing. So, whatever the data that we are collecting, that data is going to be processed by using the data processing. And that data processing will be having the sub parts, that is nothing but the tokenization, stop word removal. Third one is lemmatization, or we can call it as the steaming. And the fourth part is nothing but the part of speech tagging. So these are the four sub parts related to that. Now, individually, I can give you one of the diagrammatical format. So that is the easiest way to understand what is tokenization and the sub parts of that particular data processing. Now you can see this. There are the four diagrams I have given to you. First is the example of the tokenization. The besides, it will be the example of the part of speech. The third is the stop word remover, and the fourth one is nothing but what is steaming and the lemmatization of that particular. So in the tokenization, we can see this one of the example. Tokenization in the sense, whatever the statement that we are having, we are going to be dividing that statement into the individual words. Then that will be called it as the tokenization. So see this, that is the statement I have given. I love machine learning. So in after doing the tokenizer, after using the tokenizer, we are dividing each word as a separate word from that particular statement. I love machine learning, as well as that exclamatory mark is also separated. So that means we are dividing each and every word from the statement. Now part of the speech we can using the tagging for that particular. For example, noun, verb, adjective, and the adverb words that we have used into that particular statements. Third is nothing but the stop word remover. So we'll be using the regularly used words we are using into that particular statements, like is word, this word. So these statements into that particular given statements, we are going to be removing those words which are we are using regularly. So that's why it is called it as the stop word remover. So you can see this one of the example. This is a simple statement that is used for demonstration. Now into this statement, we are using this, is, a. These are the three words we are using into the regular statements. So that's why we are removing that kind of a words from that particular statements. Again, that is, again that is also the forced word. These are the regularly usable words. That's why we are removing those words from that particular statement. Then it will be called it as the stop word remover. Now finally is nothing but the steaming and lemmatization. Now steaming and lemmatization in the sense, what is the root word of the given word. Now for example, we have given the example related to that. Now say this, consult, consultant, consultanting, as well as the consultative, as well as consultants and the consulting. Whatever the word we are using, the basic root word of this particular group of the words is nothing but the consult. So that system is going to be converting this kind of a words into one of the root word. That's why it is called as the steaming and lemmatization. Now the second part of this natural language processing is the algorithm development. Now algorithm development having the two main basic parts related to this, rule based system, and second one is nothing but the machine learning based system. Now rule based system is specifically careful design linguistic rules. So regularly which kind of a rules we are having into the behaviors of the humans, that rules if we are applying, then that will be called as the rule based system. Second part is nothing but a machine learning based system. And in the machine learning based systems, we are using multiple algorithms like the statistical methods or any kind of functions which has been already we can fill up into the machines, and according to those functions and the algorithms, the machine is working on the given languages. So that's method will be called it as a machine learning based system. Now into this we can use the combination of the machine learning or we can call it as a deep learning and the neural network uh, language processing. Now again the same thing, machine learning is the part of the machine should be understand how the human works. Neural network is the copy of the human brain. Okay, specifically the human brain, how the human brain works exactly, we are using that specification related to the neural network, and that is nothing but the part of the natural language processing. So these are the applications of the natural language processing. Nowadays we can use it. Now obviously example chatbot is, everyone knows about the chatbot. Email filtering, if I wanted to filter like this spam over that particular images, we can get the exactly which is the spam related the email, that is nothing but the email filtering. Language translation, obviously you can Google over that, we can do the translation of that particular language. If I'm having the English words, if I convert it into the Hindi or Gujarati, that is nothing but the language translation. Sentiment analysis, whether I am having any kind of a fear, if I'm having any kind of a joy, if I'm even in anger, so that is called as the sentiment analysis. Now predictive text, now the predictive text is nothing but the what kind of a completion of that particular statement automatically, that is nothing but the predictive text. Okay, text summarization, again the same thing, whatever the today's topic we have concluded, if I wanted to give one of the two or three part or the summation part of that particular today's lecture, then that will be called as the text summarization. Smart assist, again the same thing, if I wanted to ask some kind of a questions towards the machines, so that is nothing but the smart assist. And finally AES, so what kind of a scores we have using for that particular statement, so that is nothing but the applications of the natural language processing. Thank you for the today's session, and we are completing this session related to this. Thank you.